Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/Am I the Smelly Poo Poo Person? Because on this channel we are extremely grown up and mature. Let's have a look. Am I the butthole for giving my son the same punishment another dad gave his daughter? Long story short, I was contacted by my son's principal that he had cyberbullied a girl. My son is 11 and has never shown any kind of bullying. Ever. He's not perfect, but he ain't a bully. The story got stranger because the girl didn't even go to his school, but they went to the same elementary school for a couple of years. She went to one a few miles away and she's friends with some kids that he hangs out with. Someone told my son that she liked him and gave him her phone number. He asked her and she said he was freaking gross and short, he called her a bee, and it went on and on. He stopped because he got bored. There were no threats or anything like that, it was two stupid hormonal kids lashing out at each other. Well, this girl's dad contacted my son's school and the principal took it seriously. I told her that it was freaking creepy that a man would find out where my son went to school while he was on the phone. He went on about chivalry. I told him that this is 2020 and not the Middle Ages. He asked me if I was going to punish my son, and I asked him what punishment did his daughter get for being a foul-mouthed princess. He said she didn't do anything to be punished, so I said neither did my son, so move on. The principal told me I should have played along. Edit, the girl is 11, she's 13. Yeah, this definitely seems kind of like an everyone sucks here. Maybe the butthole. I mean, saying, oh, it's creepy that you found out where this kid went to school. I mean, look, if you are a parent and your kid is being bullied, and you think, okay, let's find out where this kid goes to school, and then you can contact the principal. Like, that's normal. I don't think that that's remotely creepy. All the stuff about chivalry and all of that, like, no, if both were bullying each other, then yeah. But, you know, with the whole, like, he's not perfect, but he ain't a bully, I don't know. I mean, maybe the parent here is kind of seeing too much good in their kid. You know, like saying, oh, he ain't a bully, and it's like, well, if you find out that cyberbullying's going on, you're not necessarily going to see it. I think that there's a certain amount of, you know, willful ignorance here. But other than that, I just say everyone sucks here. I don't think that there's any one person in the wrong. You know, two kids fight, yeah, but, you know, if they're not talking to each other anymore, then surely things can move on. Am I the butthole for telling my friend the girl she set me up with is too much to date? I had a lot of trouble with the title, so apologies. I'm 26 male, single, and have been for over a year, and I'm looking to get back into dating. My friend Ash, 28 female, asked if I'd be willing to go out with her friend Lacey, 26 female. Now, I know Lacey in passing, in a friend of a friend sort of way. She's sort of shy, sweet, and cute. Ash has always been a bro and wanted to be my wingwoman. Plus, Lacey has been interested in me, but was unsure how to approach. So I was like, yeah, sure. Lacey and I went on a couple of dates and started casually talking. We never hooked up, just dinner a couple of times or a coffee date, you know? The plague has made dating awkward as frick, so we don't get to go out much. Never got exclusive, and this lasted about 2 weeks tops. It was fine at first, there was no spark, but we had a good time and got along. But Lacey was a lot. She ended up being really emotional at the drop of a hat. Like, she'd cry over little things, not even sad things. Like, if she saw a dog, she'd start welling up because it was so cute. Or if she spilled something, she'd cry a little. Not ever to a bawling mess, but it was noticeable. If I mentioned it, like asking if she was okay, she'd get embarrassed and cry more. And she laughed at anything. I still can't tell if she was just polite laughing really loudly or just found everything funny. The breaking point for me was that she was super into astrology. I don't believe in it, but I'm usually whatever about it. But she'd say things like, oh, that's such a Leo thing to do when I said certain things. Anyways, I'm fully aware these are petty and superficial reasons, but I decided I didn't want to go further with Lacey, and I told her I thought we'd be better as friends. Yes, she cried, but not a lot, and yeah, I felt like poo. Ash asked me what happened, and I told her that Lacey was just too much for me to handle. She asked me what I meant, and I told her Lacey was too emotional, and she got kind of offended, saying that's fricked up, Lacey isn't allowed to show emotions or whatever without scrutiny. And that I'm superstitious about some stuff but critical of astrology. I really didn't get what I did wrong, but Ash said my reasons were kind of sexist, and Lacey shouldn't have to be less to appease me. I'm not asking if I'm the butthole for not wanting to date Lacey, FYI, I know the sub-rules about that, but am I the butthole for saying she's too much? Like, I really don't get why Ash got so mad. Wow, I mean, I've seen so much misogyny on the internet, but this is definitely not it. I really think that Ash was just really wanting to play matchmaker here, and because he's not attracted to her, she's really annoyed that, she wanted to be Cupid, and the bow, the little Cupid arrow didn't quite land on this one, and so she's, putting a bit of a hissy fit, saying, oh, well, you must be a misogynist if you're not attracted to this woman. I think that by saying her personality was too much was actually just a really polite way of going about it. Because what would he have said instead? I find her annoying. I feel uncomfortable with how she displays emotion over the top at very small situations. The fact that she keeps talking about astrology, I find frustrating. Is he just not supposed to feel those things? And by saying, oh, she's a bit much, that's like a very gentle way of going about it. Crying when you see a cute dog, I mean, it's one thing now and then. I know that when my partner is feeling particularly emotional, every now and then she'll start watching videos of sad animals and then make herself sad. There is also the chance that because Lacey found OP attractive, but didn't know how to go about it, we don't know what conversations Lacey and Ash have been having, so it could be that Lacey has been going on like, oh, there's this guy, I really like him, and so Ash was really supportive, like, oh yeah, I could talk, oh, I'm sure it'll go well, if you got this relationship in your head, then you're gonna think that it's gonna go one way and it doesn't go another, then maybe she's just getting defensive about that. But it really just seems that, Ash is just annoyed that her OTP isn't canon. So, she's just going to have to move on to her next ship, unfortunately. And that whole, Lacey shouldn't have to be less to appease me. That's the thing, is that OP is not saying that she has to be less, and he doesn't want her to appease him. He is saying, this is how you are. How you are is fine, but it's just not what I'm attracted to. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I think if somebody cried every time something small like that happened, I would find it really frustrating. And yeah, the whole astrology thing, it can... When people are really into it, it can definitely get a bit much. And the whole, oh, well, you're superstitious, yeah, but does he go on about it all the time? It looks like she's looking for reasons to think that he's a butthole for not being interested in this girl, just so that she can kind of try and make them get together. But even so, like, you just can't force yourself to be interested in someone, and just saying, like, oh, they're a bit much. Yeah, that was, like, the most polite way you could have said it, not at all misogynistic. I mean, I know I'm a bloke, so I don't really have a dog in this fight, but I don't see how anybody would think that. Like, it would be one thing if it was a situation where it was natural for somebody to get emotional, and they were going, oh, you shouldn't be reacting that way here, or if they were assumed to to be emotional for being female and they weren't, then yeah, that would be misogyny. But in this case, saying somebody acts in a way that's just not attractive to you, so you don't want to date them, that's no, honey. Am I the butthole for refusing to follow my girlfriend's weird family tradition? My girlfriend and I have been dating for about 4 years and engaged for 1. Not too long after we had been dating, she told me about her family tradition for marriages. She said that the boy must take the mother of the bride out on a date night, buy her a dress and something to sleep in, pay for everything, and buy them a hotel to stay in. She said that it's nothing to be worried or freaked out about, that getting the hotel doesn't mean you have to sleep together, although a long time ago it did. I laughed a little bit and asked if she was serious. She said that she was. I had a hard time believing it, but I didn't care to discuss it anymore. We never really talked about it until this past week. I'd honestly pretty much forgotten about it. My girlfriend and I have our wedding in less than a month. We were talking about wedding stuff, and she asked me if I picked out what her mum and I were going to do for our date night. I laughed it off and waited for her to move on. She didn't, look confused as to why I was laughing. She insisted again that this was 100% serious and that she expected me to do it. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with doing that. I didn't want to spend a night alone in a hotel with someone who wasn't my girlfriend or wife. I asked her why we would have to get a hotel. She explained that a long time ago the mother of the bride would actually sleep with the boy and that it was viewed as a way to kick off the marriage. I asked if she expected me to do that. She laughed and said of course not, but that she wouldn't be upset with me if it did happen. She then said her mother doesn't plan to actually do anything sexual. Still kind of freaked out by the whole concept, I asked if I could just buy the mum dinner. My girlfriend got more upset and asked me why I was refusing to follow a fun tradition. I simply said I don't feel comfortable with it. She said that I'm acting like a stubborn kid and that I should just have fun. I insisted that I wouldn't do the hotel part. She left and went on to tell her family. They've all reached out to me and asked me what is wrong with me and why I'm being such a jerk about it. The mum called me and she actually was nice about it. She said that she thinks I'm a great guy, and while she would love to have a night together, she understands that I have a right to say no. She even said that she spoke to my girlfriend about it and told her that I have the right. Nonetheless, my girlfriend is still upset with me. I will mention as well that my girlfriend and her family are from a different culture, so that's probably why I'm not accustomed to this. Am I the butthole for being stubborn about continuing this tradition? So it won't surprise anybody to know that the main issue with this, Am I the Butthole, is the issue of consent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't think that this guy is the butthole in any way, shape, or form, because, it's absolutely his right to say who he does and doesn't feel comfortable sharing a bedroom with. And trying to shame him into doing something that he feels physically uncomfortable with, especially something with, intimate vibes, such as sharing a hotel room after a date, and picking out something for her to sleep in. If it were me, I would just be like, here are some, comfy PJs, but it does have that kind of... I'm gonna get my mother-in-law some lingerie kind of vibe, and the thing is that the mother understands that. She's like, you know what, you're a lovely guy, I would love to have a night out with you, we probably have a lot of fun together, which is a good way for, in-laws to be. It's good for in-laws to be friends as well as family. I'm lucky enough that the relationship with the in-laws is good, and they treat me like a son, like my father treats my partner like his own daughter. I'm very lucky to have that good relationship. And it does seem like they have a good relationship as well. Like the fact that she called him and said, you know what, it's fine, like you have every right to say no, but if we want to hang out, then that would be great. But I don't understand why the whole family is making a big deal out of it. Now, the thing is that he said that her family are from a different culture to his own. However, he described this as a family tradition rather than a cultural tradition, and I feel like if it were a cultural tradition, apologies, then she would have said that it was something to do with that meant that it was really important to her. And I did actually look up, wedding traditions where the groom is supposed to sleep with the mother of the bride, and the only thing very vaguely similar to that I could find was something from a tribe in Uganda where there's a tradition where the groom sleeps with the aunt of the bride, so not the mother. But even so, having that whole hint of, once upon a time it was something sexual, but it doesn't have to be this time. But, I wouldn't mind if it was. How weird. I'm sorry, but that would really creep me out if they're going, I wouldn't mind sex if you wanted. I wouldn't mind sex. What? No, I wouldn't mind it if you wanted to have sex with my mum. You could go do that. It's just, it makes my skin crawl. I felt really uncomfortable even saying that. But if this is just a family tradition, then what the frick kind of family is going on where they're all sleeping with the mums of, this is just a really creepy situation. Also, the fact that she was making a whole thing about it, calling him stubborn and a jerk, when she really should be respecting his boundaries, that's a bit of a red flag for me. I think that this really needs to be firmly discussed with the girlfriend, and even get the mum in on it, because even she's realising that, even the mum is speaking to her. This is, the girlfriend / fiancé is just making a huge hoopla over nothing. And if this is the kind of thing that she's going to make a hoopla over and show very little regard for what her husband feels physically comfortable with, that's red flags for me. You might have seen on my page that I now have a Patreon. So for just £2, you will get exclusive access to my blooper reel with unseen bits that I haven't yet posted on this channel. And at the highest tier, you will get your name in credits at the end of my videos. Bearing in mind that I post a video 5 times a week, that's a lot of videos you're going to get your name in credits on. If not, a little like and a subscribe on my channel help a lot. Well, that's it for this episode of r/Am I the Butthole. I would like to know what you think about these stories. Do you think that the people were buttholes here? Do you think that we're not hearing enough? Or do you think that everyone just sucks? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd really like to know. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed hearing from this subreddit or would like to hear from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you all next time.